When on safari, you will never encounter a creature more powerful than the rhinoceros, nature's tank. It truly is a rare sight to see such a magnificent example of the species. Even rarer is to see the rhino with its overweight son, who is always picked last in sports and is a constant source of shame and embarrassment for the wait, I didn't mean it. No. Every now and then, Beast Wars gets a new toy, but usually it's a small, safe release like a deluxe, not a full-sized Voyager. Lo and behold, we have Rhinox, a toy interesting enough to make me use the phrase, lo and behold. Of course, we're looking at a rhino for his beast mode, the species of which I do not know, not up on my zoology. It's not a bad-looking creature though, especially compared to the original Beast Wars attempt. Eyes aren't on obvious panels, at least. You can see a lot of attention went into the molding of the hide, not only for the skin folds, but a lot of bumps and wrinkles across the skin. They really went all out here. The legs are more heavily molded with visible bone structure, and naturally the painted toes. The legs are also where you see the breaks in the illusion, with some of the robot bits exposed on the back of the legs. You're really only going to see it, though, if you're staring at the rhino's butt. Your decision to do that, although it did not turn out so well for Megatron when he attempted it. While we're back here, though, the tail is a soft piece of plastic to prevent breakage. Also soft plastic? The horn, which is a good idea considering that's a big spike for a kid's toy. You might also notice the ears seem segmented from the head. A lot of people thought that might be an ear-wagging gimmick, but no, also soft plastic, separate parts to prevent breakage, which is a nice idea. The head in general is well molded, a lot of little details like the nostrils and beady eyes, much nicer looking than the original. Since this is a beast mode, I could check articulation, but this is nature's tank, so there's none to speak of here. Except for the mouth, and you might not want to use it because... Yeah, not pretty. Any wider than just a crack, and the mouth looks horribly unnatural. It's best not to use it. But that and the exposed bits are a small blemish on what's actually a very nice looking toy rhino, though admittedly low in function. Transforming Rhinox is somewhat involved, though to get the look of the cartoon's robot mode, I guess it would have to be. In Beast Wars tradition, there's still some shell forming, though none of it feels unnecessary. In fact, some of it is show accurate. Some parts of it are on small hinges, and you'll have to watch out for some part clearance when moving them into position. Outside of that, the transformation's pretty straightforward, a little fidgety in some spots, especially for the leg's shell, but nothing difficult. In robot mode, Rhinox is pretty much what you'd hope for out of a modern version of the character. Wide-shouldered, powerfully built, low on kibble, and very heavy looking. Not as stocky as the animation model made him out to be, but I don't really see that as a negative to this toy. Again, it beats the original hands down, with a lot less shell and kibble hanging off. This is also where we notice the toy isn't an attempt to reinvent the original toy, nor is it trying to be dead accurate to the cartoon, instead finding a balance between the two. Toy details like the spiked discs on the sides of the legs and the mutant head gimmick are gone, and show details like the gold on his shoulders are missing. Then again, the rhino head is set where it's supposed to be in the show, the toy's skirt armor is here, and the designers even found some spots for extra detailing all of their own. All around, I think it's a brilliant job redesigning the character in a way that's going to satisfy fans of the toy and the cartoon. That said, this does make my biggest issue with the toy very apparent. The brown making up most of his body is just way too pale. Sure, it looks a lot more like a real rhino in beast mode, but it's not the rich brown of either the show or toy, which kinda detracts from the nostalgia of the figure. That said, I'm happy with the rest of the deco. The green and gold look great, and I'm happy to see the teeth were properly painted all the way around. The head is the highlight. All the details here are really well sculpted. They even remember the Maximal logos on the head. That's some great attention to detail. But I'm ignoring the rhino in the room. Articulation is what most wonder about on this toy. Well, on sheer points of motion, he's really nice. Ball-jointed head with a good range all around. A hinge and swivel joint at the shoulder gives him universal movement. He gets bicep rotation, but misses out on 90-degree elbows because of the bulk of his parts. There's a waist joint left over from transformation, and universal joints for his hips. He gets thigh swivels, ankle tilts, and then there's those knees. This is the universal issue with the toy. His knee hinges are loose, to the point where the only bent leg poses the toy can do are when the knees are bent all the way. Anything short of that, and he does slump backwards very easily. There's a few fixes for this. All you really have to do is add something inside of the hinge to give it some more friction. A scrap of paper might do it if you can get one in between the parts. There's also floor polish, which is tricky and risks freezing the joint if not done right. Never done it myself, so I'm not the one to ask about it. So this is an official buyer beware. It is a very common issue. But I like this toy, so let's end on a cool feature. During transformation, you'll remove a big hunk from his gut that transforms into his signature weapon. A pair of Beyblades. No, these are the famous chain guns of doom, or Gatling guns of doom, which is more correct, and that's what they put on the box. Nice nod by Hasbro. While they need some paint, they still look really good, and the best part is they work. Pressing the switches on them activates the spin gear inside to spin the bladed barrels. This was actually the Deluxe's gimmick too, so not only is it show accurate, but it's also toy accurate. Then again, how lame would it be if they didn't spin, so this is kind of a must. When Hasbro's designers said they wanted to make a modern Voyager Rhinox, I kinda laughed it off as a wild idea they'd never managed to get to retail. Now that it stands before me, I can see just how committed they were to delivering the ideal Rhinox toy. The proper balance between toy and cartoon really shows what a labor of love this was for the designers, and the detailing and engineering is amazing. True, some details are missing, that's a minor nitpick. The brown should be darker, it's a bigger nitpick. And the knees, that's beyond a nitpick. It's got issues, but what got done right got done very right, and makes it a great addition to the other modern Beast Wars updates. Though kind of ironic, all these new Maximals and no new Primal yet. Hasbro, these guys need a leader. Good leader would never let his soldiers get weak in the knees. Your son's still fat. No, wait, I'm sorry.